Welcome on the cosmic atom treasures are not lost. They are buried, not forgotten, but formed. And maybe that is why your soul has felt tucked away, shielded, almost as if life had faded. Your lighting is on purpose. But that was not punishment. It wasn't a delay. It was preservation. Because what God planted within you is never average. And something with that much weight cannot be pushed into view. It must be created, safeguarded, and developed in secrecy before the revelation of the hideaway. And it is the part that no one sees. Quiet seasons, hidden development. The chats you have with God in your worst times. The ones you never mentioned to anybody. Those were not squandered. They were recorded. Heaven does not forget those it prepares in secret. That anguish of invisibility you felt wasn't from desertion. That was an echo of something divine, yet taking shape. Consider how diamonds are born. Not in the sunshine or on the surface, but beneath pressure, in quiet, hidden somewhere only time, heat, and God's touch can reach. And when they eventually get up, they don't say how long it took. They just glow. That's the spirit you're now embracing. You aren't coming out to prove yourself. You're walking out because something inside you is finally calmed. It's not the same need for affirmation. It's not the same quest for attention. This is different since you are not entering as someone who must be noticed. You're entering as someone who understands who they are, even if no one else applauds yet. And that type of presence, that inner tranquility, it alters things. It moves the air. When you step in, it softens your words and reinforces your quiet. You don't need to holler to be heard anymore. You simply exist, and others sense it because God did not conceal you to withhold anything. He concealed you in the same manner that painters conceal a masterpiece while it is still in production. Gardeners wait for the appropriate season before exposing a delicate blossom to the light. The method builders lay solid foundations before letting the frame approach the sky. What was going on in your quiet was sacrosanct, even if no one knew what to name it. Even if others misinterpreted your silence. Even if you felt ignored, you were not. You were becoming overbuilt for something your former self could never carry. The curtain is now thinning. You're feeling it, right? Such odd clarity. That rising impression that the fog is clearing. That the same doors that seem to be bolted shut are now opening before you knock. This is not arbitrary. This is a revealing period, and you will not be released with pomp or loudness. You are being exposed with precision and silent strength. Because quiet does not imply a lack of movement. This is the sound of depth being generated. And the reality is, not everyone was intended to experience your construction season. Not everyone could grasp what you were holding. That's why the seclusion needed to be exquisite. So no one could mislabel your method, and no one could claim credit for something they didn't create. Because this version of you was not created with consent. It was built by obedience, by showing up in the dark, holding on despite the lack of proof, by loving God, even when he felt silent. That kind of growth does not come with big pronouncements. It comes with modest changes. It comes from strolling by the locations that used to confound you and understanding you don't need their explanations anymore. It begins with observing that your soul is no longer wanting noise and instead prefers serenity again and over. Even if it means being misunderstood because you've recognized that being concealed by God is preferable than being seen by the wrong people. And now, when it's time to be disclosed, you're not coming out of hiding, hoping to be recognized. You're marching steadily, planted and crowned from the inside out. And that's what distinguishes this time. It's not about becoming discovered. It is about being deployed. You know, when something important is developing, it remains concealed, and you know it in your bones. But let us be honest. The secret season was not glamorous. It wasn't always full of confidence or tranquility. It seemed like you were sitting in a room with open doors that wouldn't open for you, and you were given quiet. It was not soft. It was crisp. You've experienced evenings where your chest felt heavy for no apparent reason, and your soul was fatigued. Even after a full night's sleep, the question remained not answered. Am I chosen? Yes, it was. Why does being selected seem so difficult? And this is the bit that hardly one discusses. Sometimes the spiritual weight did not seem holy. It seemed like I'd been forgotten. You've seen individuals go on, be acknowledged, and praised for something much less than what you've been hiding for years. And you kept turning up, not because it made logic, but because something within you refused to give up. That was the formation, not a highlight reel. The point at when your soul no longer needs affirmation, where your soul began to learn how to withstand strain without crumbling, and where your identity was no longer linked to being seen, but to being genuine. And now, you're beginning to feel the change, not only in your thoughts, but in your life. Small things are occurring. People use a stronger tone while speaking to you. Conversations deepen without being forced to. You come into a room and are immediately aware that the energy surrounding you has reorganized itself. That is not your imagination. That is alignment. Reaching the surface, you aren't attempting to be magnetic. You've simply become honest. That type of spiritual honesty has a unique frequency. You are no longer pushing favors. You are recognizing it. And this is the reality. You may finally confess. It wasn't only that God had hidden you. He was keeping the narrative safe until it was strong enough to walk without explanation. That tale now includes you. The repaired areas that recall the pain, but do not dwell on it. A genuine sense of tranquility. It has battled for the grace you provide without saying. Simply being stable in the midst of a chaotic environment. And now it seems that some who before did not notice the weight of your silence are beginning to do so. Not because you want to be mysterious, but because you realize you don't need to be understood to be legitimate. That is the true light up, not the visibility, but the freedom from requiring it. You used to worry, when will someone see what I am carrying? Now you understand that the appropriate people already do. And the rest? They will feel it soon enough. Because when God creates something indisputable, it does not need our attention. It garners attention, not showy or loud, yet felt profoundly by everyone who comes near it. That is what is happening in your life right now. Developing the kind of presence that cannot be reduced to a caption or praise. Yes, some individuals will be puzzled. They will wonder when you changed, what occurred, and how you arrived here. But you'll know you didn't just appear. You were polished. As a result, you're no longer terrified of success. You are not walking on eggshells, waiting for it to go. Do you know how much it costs? You know what? It healed, and you know who made it possible. So no, this isn't your peak. This is the first obvious echo of what has been seated in quiet for years. And it's not simply expanding anymore. It's growing without apology, explanation, or hurry. Just God confirming that no calm season was ever wasted, and that your narrative was never late, but rather preserved and now finally disclosed. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. If this message connected with you, please share it with someone who might benefit from it and subscribe to stay in touch. Continue your awakening journey by selecting one of the videos on your screen that speaks to you the most. See you there. Dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive.
If you're enjoying the content on Pure Wisdom and find value in the messages we share, I encourage you to subscribe. Based on the latest analytics, 93.9% of viewers are watching without subscribing. By subscribing, You not only stay updated with new content, but also support the channel's growth, allowing us to continue spreading wisdom for the chosen ones. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important message. Let's build this community together.